Good morning. Today we're going to be replacing a neutral switch on an Isuzu. So, first thing we'll do is put this thing in neutral. Boom. Alright. Here's our new neutral switch. So when this switch is in the neutral position, you're going to have a continuity between pins 1, which is here, and 4, which is there. So that's the top row, 1 and 4. So I like to just double check just to make sure the switch is good, the new one. So yep, put my meter on resistance and test between 1 and 4. As you can see, I'm on pins 1 and 4. I got good continuity. So this new switch is good, and we are in neutral. Okay, well there's the inhibitor switch, or the neutral switch. Got the connector off. Looks like some work was done to this thing already. They replaced the connector and pins, and I did notice they broke the lock. The lock is broke, so we'll have to get that connector replaced. I'm just gonna spray this nut here with some penetrant. Get that all nice and soaked up there. I'm gonna pull this nut off, as well as those 2 bolts, and this thing should just slide out. So before you attempt to move this nut, there are these tabs right there, locking tabs that you gotta bend back. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver to bend those back. And then 22 mil wrench that I'm going to use to undo this nut. But you want to hold this shaft right there to keep it from spinning, so you're not, when you loosen that nut off, you're not going to be turning anything in the transmission. So I just use something like this. You could use a wrench or adjustable wrench. This thing, I'll just be holding it like that, and I'll use my 22 mil wrench to undo that nut. But right now I'm gonna just knock those locking tabs back, and we'll go from there. On there a bit. Okay, now we're going to remove those 2 bolts. Things should pull off there, but I'm gonna have to work it with a screwdriver or something because it's a little stuck on that shaft, but just work it back and forth and pull that switch off. Okay, got the switch off here. I had to work it back and forth, and I took a screwdriver to spread these tabs here so I could slide it off easier from the shaft, because it was shaft's a little rusted there. But so I'm gonna clean this up nicely and then grab the new one and install it. Now there is an installing tool, alignment tool, to align your shaft with the actual switch when you install it. I don't have that, so I'm gonna have to do the best we can, but as you can see, it's a really small amount of movement this thing has. So if you're not lined up properly, you won't read the proper gear. So I'll get this all cleaned up. I'll install the new switch. Don't tighten anything, just install it, and then we'll see how our alignment is. But pretty much, as you can see, you want this to be in line with this tab right here. So basically the alignment tool has a pin that fits right inside of here, and then it goes around this shaft here, slides on top of here, and it makes sure that it's perfectly straight. So that's all that alignment tool does. Okay, so we got this installed. These bolts, this nut, they're on there finger tight. I just want to make sure this thing is somewhat lined up before I install it. So I'm just grabbing just any old thing. I got this little 6mm wrench here that I'm pretty much just gonna use something to go inside here and just kind of match up to see how close we are for that thing to be lined up, which it looks like spot on. So I'm just gonna stick that in there like that, and we're like pretty well straight right on there. So you just want to make sure that that's pointing up there, which it is. So I'm going to use, this is 6mm. I'm going to use this to hold this as I tighten it to prevent it from moving as best as I could. And then I'll tighten the 2 bolts. So I'm going to tighten this first, tighten the 2 bolts, check their alignment, make sure it's good, and then I'll bend these locking tabs over to lock this nut into place. Okay, got this tightened up. Now this nut, you don't want to go crazy tight on it because you're threading against an aluminum housing there, or the threads are aluminum. So I just gave it a few turns, make sure this little thing's tight, then I torque these down, and then just gonna make sure it's lined up, then just give this another little turn, and if it's all good, fly these out and plug her back in and test it to make sure it's all good. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're reading neutral. Go through our gears. First, park, wiggle it around, make sure it stays. Reverse, neutral, drive, second, first. Alright, good. Well, I think we should be good there. I'm just going to hook up the laptop, verify that it's seeing the same, and then this repair is successful.